The sun will be shining, 'cause I feel that when I'm with you, it's alright. I know it's right. And the songbirds keep singing like this. Know the score, and I love you, I love you, I love you, like never before. To you, I would give the world. To you, I'd never be cold, 'cause I
No matter where you come from, no matter where you're going, here's a place where you can take comfort in the knowing that whether if you've come to stay a while or just passing through, this door is open to you. Come and let's be silent. Come and share a hug. Come, let's pray together. Come love and be loved. From the blissed out to the turned out, from the pampered to the abused, this door is open to you. Come on in, come on in, come on in, come on in. The God in us recognizes the God in you, the God in you. Whether you're black or white or gay or straight, Christian, Buddhist or Jew, this door is open to you.
Good morning, Claremont Center for Spiritual Living. How are you this morning? Nice to see you. I'm Reverend Tracy Earlywine and delighted to welcome you here to this community of love and support and magnificence in all its many forms. So delighted to have all of you here in the room and those of you online. Everybody wave. We're so glad that you could join us. We know that in spirit there is no distance or time. There is only consciousness. And in consciousness, this community is strong and thriving and expanding. Welcome to our new visitors, and know that wherever you are on your spiritual path, you are welcome here with us. So this morning on platform, our practitioner is Diane Clements. Practitioners are the prayer support, the consciousness holding arm of this community. They support you after service. Diane will do an opening reading and an opening prayer for us. There's also a prayer request box up here in the front if you'd like to put in a written request for yourself or someone in your family for a little support. You can also call our main number, and there's an option to leave a confidential message for prayers. So do make sure that you reach out, that you take advantage of the support that the community offers. No matter where you are in the week, no matter where you are in your life, it's always a good thing to have somebody know the truth for you, and they're really, really good at it. We also have some great music this morning. We've got Jeff over here opening us up, and we welcome back Janelle Rapp. So let's get started. We're going to take a moment And I'm going to invite you to turn off your phones and clear your laps and clear your minds and perhaps close your eyes right where you are and let the sound of the bowl take you within. Breathing in and out with that tone, reminding ourselves that inside each of us is a sanctuary of peace. That we align ourselves with peace and love and truly remember that you and I and Spirit are all one.
Let's use this very holy moment to quiet our minds and tune into Spirit. We know there is one power, one presence, one life. And that power and that presence and that life is your life now. And as we are still, we listen. Spirit speaks to us through our heart. We are guided by our intuition for insights and grace and courage. And we take our next steps in complete faith, knowing, absolutely knowing that we are always being led to our greatest and highest good. And taking all these truths into heart, I invite you now to open your eyes and to remember to listen for that inner voice of truth as it speaks to us of its spiritual perfection. Let's embrace our divinity and let's see how it is reflected back to us from the world. My reading today is taken from Ernest Holmes, our founder. He entitled it, "I Stay Open to the Presence and Spirit Everywhere." The Spirit of God, which is life, is present everywhere. Like the air we breathe, it presses against us. On the mountaintop, in the valley, in the desert, in the ocean, there is no place that life is not. Therefore, in whatsoever direction we move in God. In God we live and move and have our being. God is one undivided, indivisible wholeness, one divine and spiritual presence, one universal and all-encompassing person. Perhaps it is a little difficult for us to understand the meaning of such all-inclusive person, but the very fact that we are personality presupposes such a conclusion. In our endeavor, then, is not so much to find God as to discover the divine source of our own personal being, as it is to become acquainted with God. Today, I consciously commune with Spirit. I know that it presses against me and flows through me. I endeavor to feel this presence as a living reality in my life. Knowing that divine presence is in everyone, I sense that Spirit is in everyone I meet. I do my best to respond to this Spirit, seeing it everywhere. I keep my consciousness open and alert, and that I may better understand the union of all life with its pure and perfect source. And now I'd like to have our soloists come up. We have our wonderful Janelle Rapp today.
I'll clean it up, I promise. It's a little demonstration. What am I doing? Getting married aisle.
Getting married.
I'm not. So my demonstration was for, I've had a very challenging couple of months, and in many areas of my life, if not all, but we're not adding that up. And about 10 days ago, I was given the visual of a flower girl, and that my only job is to drop flowers everywhere I go. And that could be in the form of a smile, opening the door for someone, and that the universe, love, will bridge the gap for the places that I cannot bridge myself. And the cool thing about having a lot of challenges is there's so much growth there. So that's the gratitude part, is all the things that you learn and that you gain from it. So I've been getting all these planting things, pull it out by the roots and things like that. Well, anyway, this woman that I know through someone else, she, until her last breath, was doing something for God. And that really stuck with me, because people were coming in and asking for her blessing till her last breath. And I was like, whoa. And I thought they were being selfish in a way, for going in for that. They should be giving her something. And then I realized that, that's the flower girl thing. Everywhere we go, we're supposed to be giving out flowers. We're supposed to be smiling. We're supposed to be opening doors. We're supposed to greet each other like a friendly dog. Anyway, so, sorry. Jeff's going, come on. Stop talking. No sermons. All right. Sorry, Jeff. So I was supposed to be here a few weeks ago, and then we had the hurricane thing that happened that actually was one of my problems, because it caused a leak. You don't know you have a leak until it rains. So anyway, so I'm dealing with that. But anyway, so I had this song that I started writing because I felt like I needed to write it, and it was about blooming, and it was about kind of like this. As long as you're breathing, don't believe in, there is no reason for you to be here. As long as you're breathing, don't believe in, there is no reason for you to be here. As long as you're breathing. 'Cause I can't believe you're here. I've been waiting so long. The vision is finally clear, 'cause I see blue skies, peach trees, and your eyes. Your eyes, they melt with the sun. They're the one thing I will not run from. 'Cause you finally brought sleep to this midnight screamer, this dreamer. 'Cause some of us are late bloomers. We thought we'd never bloom at all. 'Cause most of the time we're caught up in the rumors that the thorns are where we fall. I imagined you as you came sailing by. 'Cause I still felt the thorns and the rocks and the cold hard ground and the still sound pounding. It's amazing what a breeze will erase when the winds are at your back. storm clouds are rolling in, but you are treading on dry land this time. 'Cause some of us are late bloomers who thought we'd never bloom at all. 'Cause most of the time we're caught up in the rumors that the thorns are how we fall. Now it's your turn to sail on home. Your harbor lights are high. The stars have all been guiding you as the rocks and the hills cry that some of us are late bloomers who thought we'd never bloom at all. 'Cause most of the time we're caught up in the rumors that the thorns are when we fall. Some of us are late bloomers. Some of us are late bloomers. Some of us are late bloomers. 'Cause as long as you're breathing, don't believe in that there is no reason for you to be here. As long as you're breathing, believe in there is a reason for you to be here right now.
Thank you, Janelle. That was beautiful. I know all about that late bloomer stuff. I think maybe some of you do too. So let's light our candle today. What are we lighting it for? For connection. For the connections that we all seek, for the way in which we are nourished by the connections that we make, and by all of the opportunities for new connections that we don't even know are ours yet, and yet here they are, here they come. We're talking this month about what matters. And this week's topic is relationship matters. And, you know, we all seek relationship, right? We seek connection. We're hardwired. As one of my favorite newspaper columnists wrote, we are pack animals. You know, we look to be together. We get energized from being together. We are stronger together, except for those of us that are introverts and would prefer to be all alone. But we'll talk about both sides of that coin because we actually have both of those things in each of us. You know, when we have a loving relationship, it nurtures and supports us. We're encouraged. We grow. In the eyes of someone who loves us, we thrive. We know children do too. When you encourage them, when you love on them, no matter where they are in their temper tantrum or their great delight, they grow. They blossom into something wonderful, someone wonderful. When we're part of a healthy community, we feel that support. We know we have friends we can rely on. We know there are people we can reach out to for a helping hand, or people that we can help. We can be of service and benefit not only the person receiving, but our own hearts for giving. And then there's sort of the rest of the world, which out there seems overrun with chaos and anger and fear and divisiveness and all those things that just make us weary. And what do we do with those? Because the truth is we're in relationship to everything and everyone. We live in a relative world, meaning we're always measuring our life in comparison to what is around us. Richer, poorer, taller, shorter, funnier, dumber, better, worser. We do that all the time. And I think that our spiritual work is to ensure that we are living in this world in a constructive way, that we are understanding that we can be in right relationship with ourselves, with spirit, with the world, with the community, with the earth, with all people. And what does that look like? And how do we do that? And isn't that sort of hopeless against how vast the world is and how singular we are? And I don't think it is hopeless. I think we have very much to say about how this world works. Parker J. Palmer is an author. He writes on education primarily. And he talks about this human need for community as well as our need for solitude and silence. We grow from both of those, some of us more on one end of the spectrum than the other. But this is what he says. He says, our equal and opposite needs for solitude and community create a great paradox. When it is torn apart, both of these life-giving states of being degenerate into deathly specters of themselves. Solitude, split off from community, is no longer a rich and fulfilling experience of inwardness. Now it becomes loneliness, a terrible isolation. Community, split off from solitude, is no longer a nurturing network of relationships. Now it becomes a crowd, an alienating buzz of too many people and too much noise. Too people-y out there sometimes. And if we're alone too long, too quiet sometimes, we grow best when we see ourselves reflected in the people that we love, in the people that are closest to us. Relationships mirror for us what is ours to do, where we might be holding ourselves back. That person who loves and encourages you is helping you to think differently about yourself. It's helping you to act differently with them. The best relationships bring out the best in us, whether that's with a person or a place or a community or an event. Everybody has holiday traditions. That's a relationship we have with this idea of the holiday, the holy day, the sacred experience of connecting with something larger than we are, even if it is just Christmas lights. We have that need and ability and craving, really, to belong to the celebration, to belong to the people who love us, to belong with ourselves, to belong to Spirit. We want to know that we're not out here floundering all by ourselves. It's too hard. And we're not. We're not ever. But we live in a world where technology increases its reach, supposedly for our betterment. But how many of you are like me and really don't like self-checkout? Oh, yeah. I don't need that automated voice telling me that if I'm finished, I should press the card button or enter my member number or, no. So there's this balance that we strike between the two, between the technology and the helpfulness and the connection which helps our heart. Dutch supermarket chain Jumbo, 700 supermarkets all over Holland. They did a little test in one of their stores, and now it's at 200 of their stores. And it's called the Kletskasse, which translates to the chat checkout. People who want to spend a little more time checking out with their groceries and chat with the cashier have an opportunity to move to the slow line, where they may do just that, so that all the rest of the people who are in a hurry or on their phones can whip right through, but you can have a chat. Isn't it lovely? I want a slow checkout line. I have my favorite cashiers. I would like a chat checkout line for Starbucks, actually, so that when I get my coffee, we can continue to build our daily relationship. But that's a different story. In addition to the chat checkout line, they created in some of their stores a chat corner where folks can have a cup of coffee and sit at little tables and talk to each other at the grocery store. Because as they said, that is a community hub. This is a place where people gather. People need people. We need that connection. And it's better when it's built into our everyday life. Isn't that what our spiritual practice is all about? It's to make sure that we connect with something greater than we are in our everyday life. Now, the truth is, too, though, that relationships tend to bring issues. Anybody have a relationship with issues? I'm sure it's the other person's issues, but there are issues, yes. Sometimes it looks like conflict. Sometimes it's just downright toxic. Sometimes it's a bad environment at work or, heaven forbid, in your spiritual community or your extended family or maybe even a circle of friends. But what I know is that if life is for us, then all relationships are for us, even the hard ones, even the messy ones, even the ones we wish never happened. There's a podcast called On Being, and they were talking about the book High Conflict, and that book talks about the polarization of society. And they quoted, or they were talking about conflict, and they said conflict in and of itself isn't a problem. The electricity of tension and of naturally occurring difference make conflict essential and generative, meaning it creates something, in our closest relationships. Conflict is a force in learning, growth, and advance of every kind. No friction, no motion. Those of you that remember your high school physics. Where there is conflict, there's an opportunity for growth. Because what is conflict doing? It's saying, you have a different perspective than I do. This community seems to have different values than I do. And there's a couple ways we can react to that. We can react in fear and anger. We can pass judgment and walk away. We can escalate the whole thing by getting into loud, expressive arguments. Or we can be curious, and we can ask each other, tell me more about that. Oh, that's interesting. I never thought of it that way. Why does that seem important to you? We can approach life with the idea that if life is for us, then even in this messy situation, there's something for me here. Let me be open to it. Doesn't mean we have to stay in a toxic environment. Certainly doesn't mean we should stay in a toxic relationship. But everything is generative. It is moving us forward. It is moving us along. Anybody watch the women's final of the U.S. Open? Did you hear what Coco Gauff said at the end? Coco Gauff. Sorry, I said Graf. Steffi Graf, Coco Gauff. What she said at the end, you know, the winner always has a chance at the microphone. And she thanked her team and her family for supporting her, her friends, the fans. And then she said, and I want to thank the doubters. Those of you that told me all along the way I would only go this far, or I probably wouldn't get any further than this, because you threw gasoline on my fire, not water. And I am standing here shining today. You see, even when people try to discourage us, even when it seems that obstacles come up in our path, even when it seems that tragedy has struck, we will still move forward. And if we are conscious, and if we do our spiritual practice, and if we are anchored in our trust in life, then we will use it to our benefit. We will use that gasoline, that fuel, to rise up, to become more. It takes a broader perspective on life than only seeing the obstacle right in front of your face. It takes a bigger picture of what's possible than the narrow confines of a difficult relationship. It means that when we do that inner work, or when we approach the world outside with curiosity, what we're doing is giving ourselves a different platform to live from than our circumstances in the moment. Because if you think back on your life, all the circumstances of the moment have passed. You came through it. You're here. That will continue. And wouldn't it be lovely to do so consciously, to do so from the heart, to do so with our mind telling us, encouraging us, moving us along in a positive way, so that when we are defeated or discouraged, we reach out to our community, or we reach into spirit and get the lift that we need. Michel de Montaigne is an author, and he wrote this about traveling, but you don't have to physically travel in the world to travel around in your world. Look around you. He says, traveling through the world produces a marvelous clarity in the judgment of us all. We are all of us confined and enclosed within ourselves and see no farther than the end of our nose. This great world is a mirror where we must see ourselves in order to know ourselves. There are so many different tempers, so many different points of view, judgments, opinions, laws, and customs to teach us to judge wisely on our own, and to teach our judgment to recognize its imperfection and natural weakness. In other words, don't be so darn stuck in your own opinion that you can't hear anyone or anything else. Because then you are just as rigid, even though your opinion is so much better than everyone else's, you're just as rigid as the people who drive you crazy. We're in relationship with the world. Sometimes one person at a time, sometimes a community, sometimes a workplace, sometimes family. You know, I had my first minister said a great line that I've used often because it makes me laugh. She said, you know, if we could have consciously chosen the people in our family, we wouldn't have picked the people we got. And she said there's a good reason for that. It's because every one of those people in our family teaches us something about how to be in the world with the rest of the world. If we started out with only people who were just like us, we wouldn't know how to be out there with everybody else. So when we travel in our world, whether it's in the world of relationship or out there on a cruise ship or a train or a tour somewhere, what we're really doing is reminding ourselves that there are infinite possibilities for life. That I can find the one that fills me up. That I can try on different things. That I can be a better version of myself without feeling stuck in everything it took to get me here. It's like, okay, I overcame this and I got through that and I learned about that stuff and I'm much better at this, that, and the other thing. But you know what? It doesn't stop now. You're not at a period right here. We're moving, and it's good. And when we do it consciously, it's big. It gives us a way to be in relationship differently where we need to be, and to accept relationships differently than we used to. Our main quote today is a reminder. It says, all things spiritual boil down to your relationships in day-to-day life. Otherwise, we could just sit at home and meditate for hours and be the same person when we come out. It doesn't work. We're called to know that life is for us out loud. We need to know that we are in our right place wherever we are, and that life continues to grow and support and enlarge our horizons as it is doing for everyone else, no matter the circumstances. No matter the situation, no matter the world political tenor, no matter where you find yourself right now, it's still good. It's still God. It's still you living your life. Let's live it joyfully. Let's live it with intention, the intention to connect, to be there for our friends, to be there for our community, to be there for our world, and to receive all that good, and to trust and know that no matter how hard it is right this minute, it's moving me forward. It's raising me up. If I see rightly, if I choose to reimagine the story that goes with the circumstance and turn it into something that's more like a life path that's taking me glorious places. You know, you tell yourself a story all the time about what you're doing, about what you're hearing, about the people in your life and what they're doing and why they're doing it to you and what they should be doing instead. All the time. It's a story. Take a moment. Take a moment with yourself, whatever makes you happy. Me, nice restaurant, good cup of coffee, calm right down. Out in nature, take a little walk, go to the ocean, play a little music, read a good book, calm right down. So that when we go back into the world, we're bringing our calm self with us. Our centered self comes with us. Our perspective on life comes with us into every room, into every conversation, into every relationship. We're called to recognize always that we are spiritual beings, that the greater truth of us is always love, that the synonym for God is love, that the synonym for life is love. And when we know that that's who we are, then we can remember the power of life is the love within us. We need to recognize and remember that there is a deep connection that humanity shares beyond appearances and opinions. We need to look for that. We need to learn something. We need to be curious. And we need to love everything, to nurture life where we find it. And when we do all of those things, what happens is we act in the world in kindness. With kindness for ourselves, with kindness for our fellow man, with an outpouring of energy that brings love wherever we are. I want to close with a quote from Dan Rather. He has a weekly column on Substack. And he says, over the course of the history of our species, we have spread to almost every corner of the globe. Time and distance have given us different languages, customs, cultures, religions, and countless other distinctions. They even have given us superficial differences in appearance. Sadly, far too often, we've defined ourselves by the meaninglessness that makes us distinct rather than the depth which binds us. We often define ourselves by our differences, forgetting how much we have in common. We share a common humanity, and we are stronger when we work together. Namaste. I invite you to take a moment within. Let's align with that power of love that is within us. Breathing into the heart center, remembering the greater truth of who we are. Beyond our daily activities, beyond our human reactions, even beyond the emotions that we feel. The greater truth of us is a spirit of love that brings with it peace and beauty and wisdom and joy. That beyond all sense of right and wrong, there is a place of kindness, of gentleness, of power that resides in each and every heart. For the nature of spirit is to give life and give life only. And I know that in each and every heart this is true, that life is an expression of the love that we truly are. And so I speak my word for clarity of purpose, for an intention to connect in an honest way, in an authentic way, with each other, with our families, with our friends, with our community, with our world, with the earth. Connect from that place that knows love and life as infinite possibility for good. I speak a word for the actions of each of us to be informed, the form created by this greater truth of who we are. And I know that it is possible. I know that it is a given outcome, that life continues. And I know too that life is good, for it is truly all God. It is the Spirit itself in and through each and every one of us. And so we are blessed, and I am grateful. Every relationship is a gift exchange, a gift of the heart, a gift from Spirit to each of us, for us in turn to give it away. And in this gratitude, I simply let it be, trusting and knowing that in my life, in every life, that which is good will prevail, that which supports life, expands life, transforms life, unfolds in time and on time for all of us. I call it good, for I know it is God, and so it is. So if you will, I invite you to repeat the affirmation after me. This allows our friends online to participate. I trust that life is for me. Every relationship is an opportunity for my growth. I let love lead. And so it is. All right. Let's invite Janelle back up to do a little more music, please.
Wow. I feel a little drunk, a little dizzy. That was like too much. I say this so much, but like I try to like really focus on what I'm supposed to do when I'm performing or whatever. I'm giving out flowers, and I don't know.
I think that's I think I'm complimented, yes?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, good. Just checking.
Yeah. So do I sound like a drunk person? Anyway, I don't drink, by the way, but anyway, I'm falling apart. So, so the affirmation, besides everything else, I'm just going to go with that because I was speechless. I'm like, what am I supposed to say? Not that I have to say anything because you guys don't want to always hear me talking. But anyway, so the affirmation about the opportunity, it's like everything that happens in our lives, I'm making this a practice, and I have a couple of friends that practice it with me, is an opportunity. So something bad happens, we say, it's an opportunity. And we get ourselves all excited. What is the opportunity here? You know, we go crazy. Anyway, so I know who to call when I have an opportunity. Those friends that know that everything's an opportunity. And so I guess that's what I'm going to say. Because everything else that correlated, oh my goodness. So this opportunity occurred about a year ago. My son is a video editor, and he was working a full-time job during the day and then editing this big project at night. And so I was sort of his cheerleader along with his girlfriend, and we were getting exhausted. He was exhausted. We were exhausted. He was not sleeping. We weren't sleeping. So we marched around his neighborhood, around the circle, and we said, love will find a way where there is no way. Love will find a way. And we just sang it all. Love will find a way. Love will find a way. Love will find a way. And we just stormed his block with that so he could make it through. And it reminded me of the time when I had to do the same thing for myself. And so I put that in this song. All needs met. All needs met, all needs met, no matter what you get. All needs met, no matter, all needs met, no matter, all needs met, no matter what you get. 'Cause everything always works out for me. Everything always works out for me. Everything always works out for me. Every little itsy bitsy teeny weeny yellow polka dot bikini. All needs met, all needs met, all needs met, no matter what you get. All needs met, no matter, all needs met, all needs met, no matter what you get. No matter who did it, no matter what they did, no matter what you did, no matter where, no matter when it happened, no matter how it happened, no matter what. 'Cause everything always works out for me. Everything always works out for me. Everything always works out for me. 'Cause love will find a way where there is no way. Love will find a way. Love will find a way. Love will find a way where there is no way. Love will find a way where there is no way. Love will find. 'Cause everything always works out.
Fabulous, just fabulous. All right, so this is our time of contribution, and I want you all to know that your presence here today, online or in the room, is a contribution to this community. We see community when we can see each other. If the pandemic taught us nothing else, Zoom is okay, but in person is really nice when you can. And Zoom is better than not seeing anybody at all. So I'm happy that you're here, and if you are happy to be here, know that your loving support is what creates this community and sustains us. If you have a financial contribution today, there are baskets in the back of the room. There's also a donate button online. Just in case you get the mood during the middle of the week, feel free to look at our website and drop another dime in the basket. But know, too, that your volunteerism, your gifts to this community, your willingness to come to our social events, all of these things keep us going. So take your intention and your donation and put it over your heart today and say with me our prosperity affirmation. Divine love through me blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I give, and all that I receive. I am prosperous now. And that's truly the truth. Thank you all. All right. Ingrid, we're on for today? Yes, we have breathing meditation at 12 o'clock here in the sanctuary. If you'd like a 20-minute break and a little breathing focus, stick around after coffee and come back in, and Ingrid will lead us in a lovely meditation. And those of you that have been coming regularly, I know you swear by it. So just know this is something you can take with you after you leave. You can do it anywhere, but it's also nice to really do it in a group right here. We have a social event coming up, so you need to save the date. How many of you, somewhere in the back of your closet or in a box in the garage, you still have a pair of bell bottoms? Those of you that are too young for bell bottoms the first time around, how many of you own pants that they now call flares? Same difference. Okay, so we're having a hippie party on September 30th. We'll get you some details in the next week or so. But, you know, there's psychedelic colors, your favorite daisies, your VW bus. Any of those things qualify for party material. There will be live music. There will be fun and food of some sort, and it'll be great. It'll be here. It'll be the 30th, and we'll tell you more about it later. So just plan on it. Save the date for us. It's going to be a really good time. And you can dress up if you want to. You don't have to, but it's more fun. You've got something you can use for a headband. I know you do. I know you do. All right. We have ongoing prayer circles. If you would like a little regular prayer support with a close group of new friends, talk to Reverend Mary, or you can, Nisa's not here today, but Nisa also runs one of the groups. There's an in-person group on Tuesdays at 12:15 here, and there's also a virtual prayer circle that meets on Zoom Thursday nights on Zoom at 8 o'clock. So if you would like to get to know a couple people really well and really get that support that your soul is looking for, make that connection, then talk to Reverend Mary about joining one of our prayer circles. It's a lovely experience. And I think that's all we have, unless I have anybody else out there. Okay, let's stand up and move to the aisles and sing a little song on our way out.
Take a look at the person next to you and say, God loves you and I love you too. Now feel the love in the sanctuary. Lift your voice and repeat after me.